What's up, everybody? Welcome back. MaxBet podcast here at Blackfire. New studio, new co-host. We got Hillary McAfee, not only as a guest, but as a new co-host for the show. Permanent fixture. Welcome to the team. How you doing?
Thank you so much. So happy to be here, and I'm really happy to be here with your orange shirt.
It's a yellow shirt. Thank you.
I'm really glad you wore your best for today.
Yeah, I wear black all the time.
Yeah, and you said not today.
I said today we're gonna go yellow.
Today we're going full French's mustard yellow.
To be fair, didn't even occur to me that this was a problem. But,
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
But this is likely the kind of level up the audience should expect over time. I'll get roasted out of yellow shirts. Just look around. I'm sure anyone is watching this or that has watched this in the past, like, well, you're in a whole new studio. Same studio, Blackfire. Mm-hmm. Completely different vibe.
Yeah.
For example, Landon and I never had an area rug. Lady comes into the show, we have a rug.
Yeah.
We have a plant. We have a different seating arrangement. So you're already classing us out. This is a high-class place. Thanks to you mostly. But that's
I appreciate that. When you asked me to do the podcast, I said yes. I will do it under 3 conditions.
Okay.
1, I'm not wearing the headphones.
Yeah, no headphones. That's
No
another big
headphones.
thing.
I'm not doing that. I asked what the purpose was. Turns out we didn't need to, so I said I'm not
We
wearing
thought
those.
they looked cool, I guess, was the real deal. But
2, the gorilla on the back wall, the 5-foot-long Technicolor gorilla. Let's say goodbye to him. I hope that found a really good spot in your garage.
Maybe my son's room. I haven't told him that yet, but he might be like, "This is great."
Oh,
So
that's perfect. Yeah.
I think it was the 6-year-old kid in me that bought it.
Yeah.
So clearly, the 6-year-old kid in my house probably love it. So
That's a great
the
fit.
gorilla will have a home.
Yeah.
The home will just not be here.
I
What
love
was the
that.
third condition? I don't mind. I don't even remember these. Like now that you're saying them, I'm like, yeah, I guess those were the conditions.
The third condition was that you would only wear black shirts, but clearly here we are.
Violated that on day 1. So
Yeah.
that's good. I'll switch
Starting
up
off
for the next
strong.
one. Yeah. What brought you into this wild world of gambling?
Well, I've always been in social media and marketing, so I did that for a long time. When we moved to California, I was like, I don't really want to always be working for myself at that point. I was just kind of burnt out.
Sure.
And when you work for yourself, you work all the time.
That's it. There's no days off. Yeah.
Yes, my goal is to be like a CMO or a creative director someday, so I know I have to go out and work with other
into that,
companies
yep.
and build into it. I found a role with Brian Christopher, and I had no idea who he was. And
Really?
And I'm familiar with influencers, like I've done it myself. I've worked
Yeah,
with
sure.
other influencers. I know the drill. But I don't know every single influencer
How
in
could you?
any niche,
Yeah, for sure.
in any
Yeah.
niche market.
For sure.
And they said, "Do you know anything about slots?" And I said, "No, I have never played before in my life.
Yep.
I don't even think I've been into a casino, but I can learn anything, and
Set it up.
I will figure it out." And thankfully, they trusted me and took me on. So my role kind of progressed from there, and which is really like the fun part of being a part of a startup
Yeah,
vibe
for sure.
is
You
just
do a lot
you
of
get to
everything,
kind of
and-
try everything. I got a lot of firsthand experience. I've been to so many great
I was
casinos.
gonna say, working for them, they're moving all over the place. They're running and gunning, it seems like. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's a
Done-
crash course in casinos.
Yes. Now I'm on my own again and doing consulting. Got involved with Global Gaming Women, which is incredible.
Do you have a favorite travel destination like that you've been to?
I really loved South Africa. That was really great. Spent a lot of time there, and I also liked Egypt.
Did you do the classic pyramid Sphinx
Oh.
picture, or what were you?
Yeah,
Total force move.
we did do that. But what my idea was, we went with a group, and then I said, "You guys, we should do a human pyramid on the pyramids."
So, wait a minute. Like a cheerleading human pyramid?
Like there's 5 on the bottom, and
Yeah,
then 3,
yeah.
and then 2, and then
Yeah.
1. And they said, "Let's do it." We waited till the guard. This is not good.
This is
but
great. This is actually.
This is probably like 10 years
I'm
ago.
very interested in this.
But
Yeah,
we
the
waited till the
statutes
guard walked away, and then we quickly climbed up a couple tiers onto the pyramid, and then we formed our human pyramid.
And then we
It
did
was-
this.
it was
and we
great.
said, "Go America."
And then they got really mad,
Yeah, we got arrested. And, now
and then I'm not allowed back. So
yeah, you're 86 from Egypt. That's
it was worth it, 100%.
perfect.
But
Because I got all my followers.
that's the kind of energy I bring to
Just
the environment.
Or
is-
chaotic.
Yeah.
Chaotic.
A little bit
neutral. Yeah,
chaotic,
yeah.
but it will be fun.
Yeah. that's-
So
yeah. You make me feel old, which I know sounds weird, and I'm going to bring a story there because we're only 5 years apart, which shouldn't feel like a generational divide, but
it feels like
50.
like the Grand Canyon.
Because I said, hey, we should call so and so, and you're like, no one calls anyone anymore. And then I was laughing because I then called this person, and she didn't answer, and she texted me back the next day, and she goes, did you call me? Question mark. Who calls anymore? It's all texting only. And I was like, where did I go? Is this a thing? Like, I feel like all of a sudden the call is dead. Like, we're just text only. That's how everybody gets it done. We don't want to say hey anymore. Or am I like, I didn't realize I aged out of, into old guy category because I pick up the phone.
I think it's just like the sales versus the marketing in this situation.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Where when we were talking in this meeting, you're like, okay, we got to call these people and these people. And I just kept going with it like, okay. And I didn't say much. And then you're like, okay, we got to really call. And I was like, Mike, I don't call people. Yeah. I text people like a normal person, or I will send an email because like I don't know what they're doing, but I'm not gonna like impose on their day. So
yes, yeah, I didn't.
Anyway,
never realized that it was. I
don't know. That's just my thing.
I've been calling people for 20 years.
Yeah. So then you, a sales guy, call that person who is a marketer, and then she had that response, which feels very right.
It does feel right.
So
I guess we're learning sales v marketing. Maybe that's what our new dynamic is: sales guy and the marketing gal, and we'll see what the hell we learn. Like you said, you're a big sports family. Is there one in particular, like just diehard footballers, or do you do everything?
We do all the things.
And this is like youth sports, like the kids are getting into it, or what?
Babies. A little bit of everything. My husband and I were both former athletes, so he was into hockey, I was into softball, and various other sports.
You're like 5'10". I don't know. It doesn't translate on camera. Like we're sitting here, even when we're doing the other one. Like it was funny because originally there was a lot of people that thought Landon and I were the same height. Just from
who thought that?
From the original show because we were on a Zoom, right? So you had no sense of who was who.
Okay.
And so then they meet us and we couldn't be more like we're, Danny and Arnold height difference wise. And it's just like, okay, that was nuts. So I think maybe people don't appreciate, if they don't know you, they may not appreciate that you're quite tall. Now you have made athletic children with your...
Yes. I mean, my husband's 6'5" and I'm 5'10", so our kids are just giants. If we don't have at least one D1 baby, I feel like maybe we failed.
Life decisions. No pressure,
it's fine.
kids.
No pressure.
It's like, no pressure, kids. Don't.
It's fine. They're really fun. They're very different, and then their personalities together are like fire and ice, the complete opposite, oil and water. It's great. It's just playing referee most of the time.
Just
but
blowing the whistle, kid.
Fine.
We're not on the sports court right now.
Fine.
Do not beat each other up.
Penalty box for everyone. What do you do? Who are you?
Who am I?
Who are you? Because when we started the panel prep back in like March, it was Heather and I and two other people who ended up dropping out for various reasons. And then Dan came on, and then we didn't fill that third spot until randomly in like August. And she was like, all right, we're going. We're making the Zoom call. It's happening next week. So we get on the Zoom call, and I had no idea who you were. And suddenly there's this big guy in a zip-up sweatshirt in August with a backwards hat on, sitting like this, arms crossed, but under the armpits, like super bad or whatever it's called. And just like
Mary Catherine.
I could be totally wrong about this, so tell me if I'm wrong. But anyway, I'll just go launch into this big, long story for everyone to hear. Like, who is this guy?
I feel like my first appearance, so like, what was the vibe like?
You had great things to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like you know this. You don't come in gently.
I'm not a small person.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
But the zip-up sweatshirt was key, though, because we asked you, why are you wearing a zip-up sweatshirt? Isn't it hot in Vegas in August? And you said, yeah, well, it just came out from outside, and I had a tank top on, and that didn't feel very appropriate, so I put on this zip-up sweatshirt.
I feel like it's a valid answer. You're in a video conference world, and you're in a tank top.
I'm really hot right now.
It's rude to go no camera. I feel like everyone else on camera, it's weird to be the guy that's not on camera because of a shirt faux pas.
I'm a camera on.
So I throw on the closest thing that's like semi-professional, which is a zip-up hoodie. And yes, it's late August, but who cares, right? Like, is that... No? I feel like I made the wrong choice, but what do you do?
It's a choice.
Am I just supposed to have a button-up shirt at the ready?
At this point, we've established you have a lot of polos. So I think you could just have like a polo...
I do have a lot of polos.
Waiting in the wings for you if you need it. Anyway, yeah, so that was my first impression of you, but I had no idea who you were. But who are you to people who don't know you? Which I don't think is probably very many people, but
I assume
just in
it's
case,
more
can you
people
tell
don't
us?
know me than do. Joined gaming pretty much out of college, so played football at UNLV here in town locally for UNLV in Vegas here. Graduated that, went into work for MGM. I was in public relations. I shout out Lauren O'Brien, who called me and goes, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but you should come over here to Bally at the time. She goes, we got a cool job. It's entry level. I laugh. I always tell a story. I'm like, I don't know anything about this job. I walked in. I go, I've never even heard of a product manager, like let alone thinking I could do it. They're like, it's entry level. You're supposed to learn it. I'm like, oh, I'll learn it. That's fine. So I got to work in product management for Bally for 2 years on international slot machines. Worked my way into mobile sales and kind of different positions with Bally, different positions with Interblock, different positions with AGS and Light and Wonder most recently. And now I host this podcast. That's what we're doing. Consult for a bunch of people. But
So you've been around. Is what you're
I've been
saying.
around, yeah, almost 20 years, maybe 18-ish years in the business, 17, 18 years. I always think it's interesting, people getting to know each other, right? One of the things I've noticed about you is you actually know more about candy than I feel like anybody that I've met in recent history. So there's two people that I now count as candy connoisseurs. One is a celebrity named Brad Garrett, a comedian from
Okay.
Everybody Loves Raymond. I got to meet him once backstage. He has a wall, right, in his dressing room at his comedy club that is like, remember the old library? I'm a little older than you, which you remind me of, but like they had the cards and you have the little tiny drawers that pull out and there's 100
Yeah.
little drawers.
Yeah.
And so he has basically one of those full of candy, all the different candies you could ask for. Any candy you want, he's probably got it, right? I'm not saying you have that collection, but I
sounds like
remember
a
it was
dream.
like Halloween, and we're like, oh, Halloween, I'm looking forward to this. And you're like, that is not a good candy. They changed it, and 2 years ago it went downhill. So, like, if you were going to rank your top 3 candies, what are you looking for? What's your top?
Well, I think first and foremost, we're going for name brand only. Like we're not
No
going
generic
no
candy.
generic
Got it.
candy allowed. We're not.
It's already
we're
a
not even.
classy move.
We're not wasting those calories on that. I think peanut M&Ms are probably top tier, and then I really like the Nerds gummies.
Oh, the gummy.
Yeah,
nerds,
the little guys. I like those, and I like the sweet tart ropes, but only the strawberry ones. They're kind of like licorice, but
Okay.
they're like sweet tart flavor. They're really good, and again, they're gummy. My dentist loves me, so
Sick.
I am paying for her entire retirement.
Yeah.
So those will probably be my top 3. But I don't really eat candy at home. It's only when I'm like traveling or out and about. So I will
Probably a
go.
good rule in order to stay like reasonably in shape. Because
Yeah,
if I was
yeah.
eating candy every day at home, I couldn't even imagine.
Bad
the toll
news.
that would take.
Bad
Yeah,
news. Yeah. What are your top 3?
Ooh, top 3 candies. I can go with peanut M&Ms in the top 3. Historically, Twix has been number 1. Like I've always loved those Twix bars.
okay.
And then
Classic.
like Halloween wise, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because this is a Halloween thing. I've always liked the 100 grand. Like with
Oh,
that little,
yeah.
like caramel, whatever it is. So all chocolates though. Like for me, like I'm not gonna shame a sweet tart rope or whatever. Like a nerd. Those are good. But
You don't
I'm just,
discriminate. Yeah. Okay.
I'm on look. Clearly, I'm not turning down a lot of candy, but I just think it's one of those where you go like. But if I'm choosy, I'm like it's chocolate first, right? Snickers was always up there, so
I think it's like the Reese's cups. Those are like also top tier.
yeah.
When
So
you get those.
this will
Yeah.
sound ridiculous. I don't want to deal with opening those. You got to unpeel it.
Are you
then gotta
serious?
unwrap. I mean, I'll do it, but I'm just laughing. Like again, that's why it falls down. Wrappers are
What?
too much.
Okay. Well, thank you for saving that for the rest of us. What is your favorite game to play?
Great question. My favorite game to play, like if I go to the casino, I'm also a table games player. So if I just want to hang out and be like semi-social but not Vince Vaughn from Wedding Crashers, then I go to blackjack because I can just couple people, you're
Yeah.
chit-chatting, you're you're having a good time. If I want to get in and like start yelling nicknames and have fun, then I go shoot dice, right? Get a good lively dice table, craps table would be the vibe. I don't know, there's quite a bit of games I like. I just go and play. Like look for an open game, feel what calls to me like a moth to a flame, and throw my money in because I know it's all about the same odds of winning, right? So it's like, let's see if we can do something here.
Do you look for like the maxed out major?
I've played the maxed out major on the link games. I've never won it at all, but when I just randomly throw in on the only open, let's call it Lightning Link game or Locket Link game, I hit majors at a lower level. So I actually feel like my personal experience has been more frequent majors at call it $600-700 than I get the maxed out $1,000. I feel like in the business we start to learn. Oh, there's a math model we're gonna try out. Like we think we know everything. There's people that know a lot. I don't know, but there's no real luck to it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all like math, and we know that. But I'm always interested to see like for those that have never played or you're coming in fresh, going, I don't know. I grew up in places where this wasn't super popular. Like I don't know. I like the art. Like what drew you to I guess your first slot machine? Do you remember which one your first was?
I do. It was a very vivid memory, actually. It was at the Plaza downtown.
Plaza. Okay.
Yes. I put $100 in, and I lost $10. And I said, I think that's enough.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah. I'm gonna run
I
now.
said,
Yeah.
Okay. I really like blackjack. That's kind of what I've grown to enjoy. But yeah, I like watching other people play.
Super
Yeah,
relatable.
Yeah.
I get that.
I don't need to be the one pressing the button. It's
I
fine.
lose my own money. I don't like it either. I get it.
Yeah.
I also don't like it.
If I had a choice, I think I would rather go shopping and lose my money there.
So beat you to it. Yeah. And then I guess the other thing for me is interesting, or I'd like to learn about you. Is there charitable cause that you get behind, or that you like historically we've rallied behind St. Baldrick's as MaxBet, but is there a cause that you've been passionate about for your own life?
I am very passionate about immigration, so asylum seekers and refugees. I think it was 2020 and everything was shut down. I had gone to the gas station in like my very suburban, like quiet.
Southern California, suburbia.
This is in Colorado, actually.
Sorry,
yeah, back in Denver. So just nothing happens there. And I went to go get a Diet Coke, as one does, at like 9 o'clock at night. I'm waiting in line, and there is this family. There are a couple people ahead of me. There were 2 mothers and some younger kids, and then there was like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy. And they had obviously been traveling for a long time, and I could tell by their car it was loaded up, just like they were going somewhere.
This has been a trek.
Yeah, this has been a journey. The boy was the only one who spoke English, so he was helping his mother and I'm guessing his aunt like get their food and ordering for them. He's counting out his money and he's like looking back at us and apologizing, like, I'm sorry this is taking so long. He's translating, and my heart just like, oh my God, I wanted to go up and pay for it so bad. There was a couple people in front of me, so I didn't want to like, it would have been, if I was right behind him, it'd be different. But so he gets them all set up. He comes back. He gets this huge cup of like black coffee for himself. And then with what's left, like he counts out what he was going to get. And it just broke my heart that he just had so much responsibility. I went home and my husband was already asleep, and I went to him and I said, we need to do something. We need to do something right now. We have this big ass house and we're not helping anybody right now. And we have these empty rooms. Like, what are we doing? I'm going to go and I'm going to find out what we can do. And he was like, okay, honey.
You woke him up in the middle. He's like, what is happening?
He's like, all right, you do you. Yeah. So I went and found Colorado Hosting Asylum Network, which is a nonprofit in Denver. And what they do is they sponsor asylum seekers who are going through the process here. Asylum seekers are different from refugees, where they don't have the rights yet. Like, refugees have done all of their paperwork in their home country before they come. So when they come here, they can get a work visa right away. They can get like Medicaid and any kind of assistance. They qualify for all of that. But the asylum seekers, when they come, it's completely legal for them to come here.
Legal or illegal?
Legal. Okay. They have to prove their case here. They can't have a work visa for like 6 months. They can't make any money. They don't have any access to any like support or government assistance unless there's like a couple loopholes for that. So they don't really have any chance to succeed, really, unless you have people already here. So what they do is they have this network where if you don't have anyone, they will come sponsor you and put you with a team of like a host family and people who will help with your lawyer. And typically the team raises a bunch of money to host one guest, is what they call them. Like 2 months goes by, and she calls me a couple days before Halloween, and she was like, Hillary, I know you said like you weren't ready, but we have this mother here. She just crossed over. She's from Cuba. She doesn't have anyone, and she's very pregnant. Like, would you take her? And I was like, absolutely. Yeah. And she's like, okay, how many days do you need? I said, just give me 2 days. I have nothing for this baby. And I was like, well, how far along is she? And they're like, oh, we don't know. And I said, okay, well, what kind of stuff does she have? What does she need? And they were like, she doesn't have anything. She has a phone. And my community was amazing, and they like brought in a bunch of stuff, and I could easily have like paid for everything myself, but I was like, you know what? If I make a video and put this on TikTok and just ask for like $1, I bet I could get like $50 to $100.
And then how'd that go?
Well, within 2 days, we raised $28,000. Total, we raised like a little over $50,000.
Wow. And
I only asked people for $1. So if you can imagine my transaction lists were like 10 cents, $1, $2, $10, 50 cents, like from all over the world. Like it just went pretty viral. But it was incredible. Yeah, it was so cool. We made like Amazon lists for her, and I had to make a P.O. box. The Amazon list would be empty in like an hour.
Interesting.
Yeah, so she got to our house 2 days later, and then at midnight, she knocks on my door, and her water broke.
Good thing she got to your house.
Like, we're having a baby. Yeah. All right. So I'm like, I'm really glad we got a car seat 6 hours earlier. Yeah. So then I drove her all the way to the hospital, and I helped her labor, and I was like a doula, and like, okay. It's really nice to be on the other side of that. I got to cut the cord and got to hold the baby.
Yeah, so you're like the dad in this scenario, because you're sitting on the hard couch and cut the cord and doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, but she didn't speak any English, and I didn't speak any Spanish, so we were communicating, but just like
in a little telepathy or whatever it is. Yeah, that's wild.
Just 2 moms getting it done.
that would seem like one of the worst things to have to do alone. By comparison, my chest waxing for awareness feels silly now, but I think it's all in the spirit of the good thing. What are you most excited about show wise? Because clearly you got us classed up, more art. These are just physical touches though, chairs, rugs, like, but conversationally, like, where do you want to take this show? Like, what are you excited about and kind of the new vision of, call it MaxBet 2.0 or whatever you want to call the next chapter?
Well, selfishly, I'm really excited to learn from other people because I feel like I'm such a beginner that I can ask the questions that maybe other people would want to ask, but they would not.
Feel like they can't because
Yeah.
they're too long. It's like it's almost like when you're in a conversation with someone, you're like, I'm supposed to know your name.
Yeah.
But now it's so awkward, I can't ask your name, so I hope somebody else walks in and goes, hey, I'm so and so. You're like, oh, I'm Hillary. Okay, thank you.
I will bite that bullet for us. Would love to see more women.
Yeah, I'm excited to get more kind of a diverse range of folks on as well. It's interesting. As soon as like Landon and I were talking about this transition and him probably leaving the show, it was really like I knew immediately. I was like, I know eventually I'll need a co-host, and that I would need most likely a lady, right? And I think there's a few things I didn't account for, even unintentionally. The two of us could make it a very like bro-y, whatever you want to call it, like man-focused deal. That wasn't intention. We didn't mean to be exclusionary. And then I think there's also just perspectives that you just will never have unless you walk the shoes, right? Like as much as we could potentially talk and you could try to educate me, like I just wouldn't know. This is how the lady views it. Like this is how that plays maybe to us. And it's like, so as much as we could try to have it, like you're just no, a real person's going to do much better than. I'm excited to have more lady guests on, which I think we'll do coming out of the gate. So we have for our first 4, I guess we're balanced. I don't know, actually didn't plan it that way, but we have 2 ladies coming on in January. Erica Kozmond, who was just here from Choctaw Nation, so she's a legend, and Helly Wolf Group from Upland. From the guy side, we have Mark Dito, the King of Michigan. Well, he's at AGS now, SVP of their slot business. I'm excited for kind of a future kind of star of the business, I think, table game inventor Matt Booth, who I worked with at Light & Wonder and created Double Down Madness. So,
what topic are you wanting to know more about?
I am actually I'm on the sidelines right now watching this sweepstakes battle unfold. Tribes obviously have their stance, especially in California, saying we don't like this. It's not, it's potentially illegal. It's certainly not maybe the best offering, right? There's a lot of reasons to go behind it. The sweepstakes are going, well, yeah, but it's legal technically. Like, in their mind, they're not doing anything wrong. So I've been watching that. I'd love to understand that better. I think that battle will be interesting to unfold because there's a lot of very smart people that I've seen kind of on both sides.
I would love to learn more about just iGaming in general. The North American market is growing and is set to take over Europe, so I'm interested in how all of that is going to play out, just with social and sweeps and RMG and all of the regulatory red tape that everyone's going through right now, because I dealt with a lot of it when it came to just marketing. There was a lot of roadblocks, and there still are, so I'm interested to hear more from experts who can kind of foresee how this might play out. I'm interested to hear the industry stories.
That's the stories of why we started this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the fun part is like so many times you get, like in our life when we were traveling around selling people, interacting, just having dinners, randomly or coffees, and you're sitting around the table and you go, man, like that was such a great story. Like how, like the things that these enterprises are doing, or the things that the way they're thinking about innovation, like you're just sitting there going, why doesn't everybody know about this? We should put a microphone right here. And so that's what we did. If we can interview people like that, and then they can share some wisdom, if we can be kind of the mouthpiece for education where these people are finding these cool lessons and now to be able to share them would be fun. And then, share some fun stories along the way. That's the whole point.
And ask the questions that other people might be afraid to ask, because we're not afraid of looking stupid.
Well, I look, just 4 years of podcasts to show you I'm not afraid of looking stupid. That's for sure.
Look at the shirt that
yeah,
you're wearing.
Exactly. So beat you to it. All right, everybody. This is it's been a little bit of a get to know you with Hillary. So thanks for tuning in. A lot more to come. Obviously, more episodes, more content, more rugs is my guess. But we're here. We're doing it. We're happy to be back, and we thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next time.